Hey guys, how are you guys?
Hey, very good.
Movie news. It's all about Comic-Con this past week, really. Either of you guys watched the Mad Max trailer? Because that
I just
posted
watched
officially.
it.
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
Watched it.
That's not one of those videotaped from the audience deals. That Warner Brothers released that. So
I think it's. I have to say something. I felt like I was in 1982.
Yeah,
watching that
really.
And that's the
Big
beauty
time.
of it. The beauty of this whole thing is that he has really, of course it looks a little more polished than those movies, but no, I feel like I'm in 1982 watching The Road Warrior, because that was the first one I saw, because Mad Max hadn't come out yet as a VHS or anything. It came out, and we played in drive-ins when Mad Max opened here. It was really primarily a drive-in movie that was on a double bill with other, something else usually. So The Road Warrior is really a lot of people's introduction to Mad Max, but I felt like, holy shit, George Miller has really lost none of his enthusiasm, has lost none of his intensity.
It looks like absolutely as fresh as something that he would have directed. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like when he was much younger, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's. I mean, it's just got. It looks amazing. It just looks amazing. I was kind of left speechless. I just watched it. And
unbelievable.
It looks.
I mean, that's the
amazing.
big movie as far as I'm concerned next year. Even more so than the Avengers, and certainly more so than Star Wars or Mission Impossible 5.
Is that a summer?
It's a May 15th, 2015, I think, is it?
Okay, yeah, interesting.
May is going to be insane next year.
I thought it was very promising when I heard that, because he was working on it forever, it seemed like, and there were no updates. But then the studio watched it, and they were so enthused by it, they gave him more money to shoot a bigger ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, from what I know, from what I've heard, this is like a direct sequel to The Road Warrior. From what I've heard, I don't know how, because he still has the Interceptor and everything. So. And even though that he probably had that after The Road Warrior, he doesn't have that in the Mad Max, the last one. But I think this is a direct sequel to The Road Warrior. So it takes place still before he meets Auntie M and all those people. So it's just very promising. It's very these older directors are really giving Quentin Tarantino a run for his money when he said no one makes the good movies as they get older. Scorsese and now it looks like George Miller are telling them, fuck you, no we can.
That is rare.
It is rare. It is, you're absolutely right. I mean, it wasn't like, David Lean had lost something as he got older, a lot of it. But these two, no, there's no slowing these guys down. But the thing with Miller, though, is just fascinating because he's been trying to get this off the ground since 2003. And that was when Mel Gibson was still going to be in this. I'm sure Mel must be somewhat like, I really should have stuck with this and been in this, because he could have done it. I mean, he's doing the Expendables.
Hasn't it been a little while since George Miller directed a film? It's been a while.
What was the last one? Is it Babe, Pig in the City? It can't be that far
I think
back.
that might be the last one that he directed.
Oh, my God.
So
no, but that's even more so that you would. That's, 16 years, and this is the first thing out of the gate is this, and you've lost nothing. You're maybe even more intense. And I think Tom Hardy.
It was also very obvious that none of it is CGI'd or anything like that. Like,
he didn't like that.
Yeah.
He didn't like. He made the people crash the cars, everything for real, and he's a he's a doctor, so he treated people on the set of The Road Warrior who got injured. He would treat them and fix them up and everything. So.
That's awful polite. I'm going to injure you, but don't worry, I'll treat you right after I do it. So don't worry. I will cure the afflictions I cause you. But, he did the Happy Feet movies too, as far as.
Well, no, that's right.
Happy Feet, right? He actually won an Oscar for one of those.
If you want to prepare for the new Mad Max movie, don't watch the original Mad Max trilogy. Just watch Happy Feet 1 and 2.
Yeah,
that'll prepare you.
That'll do,
Pig. Okay. Batman versus Superman also had a panel there, and I've seen the fan-leaked trailer of that. It was like a minute-long teaser of Batman shooting up the bat signal on a dark, rainy night, and Superman flies in the middle of the bat signal, and he has red eyes, like he's looking intensely, angrily at Batman, and Batman has glowing blue eyes. Obviously, they're at odds, and then it goes to black, and the crowd goes wild, and the logo comes up. I was joking. I was talking to our friend Aaron last night, and I was joking. I said they should have like an adult con, and he said, "What isn't that like the VPN Awards?" And I said, "No, not pornography. I mean like sophisticated adult fare." And so the erudite, the intellectual people will show up at this convention, and
that would be
no
great.
cheering.
It'd be really quiet.
There'll be no cheering in the conference hall, just like polite clapping. And it's like the complete antithesis of Comic-Con. I'm not big into geek culture, but I'm sure Batman versus Superman will be fine. I just think all that shit is silly to me. Really.
Don't you think though, with Nolan?
I'm so over it.
Nolan brought something to this, and since he's left the directing towards someone else, it really does seem almost, I mean, Man of Steel and this one, they're just trying so hard to be so serious and everything, and Nolan could do it, but these other guys, I mean, I'm sorry, Zack Snyder just comes across as an amateur. I mean,
it's just to me, all that stuff's embarrassingly serious, and all the fun is taken out of it, and they're just.
There's no fun in this one.
I don't know why everybody gets so excited about it. Big deal.
Yeah, but I would think with Man of Steel, though, after watching that the best part of everything is really good until he decides to become Superman, and then the movie goes down the toilet. I thought the first half of that movie was actually pretty interesting. And then the moment it becomes, because Superman's supposed to be, when I think of Superman, I think Christopher Reeve, and I think there's some humor and everything in here. And there's none of that. Batman I can see being very serious, but Superman being the way they played it very serious, it just doesn't work. You don't have any of the real, and they're trying so hard to copy Marvel, which is a first, because it wasn't always that way. They're trying so hard to copy Marvel. I think this thing is gonna just snowball into embarrassment. Personally, if you want to, that's what I think.
And then they're doing. I mean, in terms of another matchup. They announced Godzilla 2, so Gareth Edwards is behind that as well, I guess. And then
he is.
And then they're bringing back King Kong in a movie called Skull Island in 2016, and in preparation for King Kong versus
one
Godzilla.
Problem. There's one
I need to. Well, the listeners need to hear what I just said. In preparation for King Kong versus Godzilla, which is another retarded adolescent film, I'm sure.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, just because of spatial relations. Someone brought up a good point. King Kong in that new movie is only 50 feet tall. Godzilla's like 300 feet tall. I don't think it's going to be a fair matchup. I don't think they're going that route. I don't think.
You think that'll stop them from doing it? No.
I don't think. I don't think
that
they're
going
to do it.
Why are you applying like actual earthly logic to anything that they do?
Because I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because because I don't think, even though the second Godzilla film is going to be a lot of fun and everything, I don't think it's going to bring in the money the first one did. And I think this prequel they're talking about, Skull Island, which they've been toying with since the last King Kong movie. I just don't see either one of these making a lot of money to really just. I think by the time these come out, people will be just like on to the next thing.
Well,
already.
I even have an argument for that. Okay, so Man of Steel, wasn't that kind of seen as kind of like a bomb, kind of not that great, or didn't? I mean, or
I
just
don't think did they break even?
Not a bomb, but like it just got by. It just snuck by. You know, into success territory. Like, do you think that that should have stopped them from doing this one? But no.
Well, they brought in
because they run out of ideas.
That's why they brought in Batman. That's why they brought in Batman.
Yeah, I mean, because it was a dud. But let me even go even further than that. remember, Batman Begins was not a smash.
Right. I
was talking with someone about this earlier. Heath Ledger's death is really the thing that makes these movies become a global phenomenon. I don't mean to be, and I'm not being,
But I even think without his death, it would have been a bigger movie than the first one, because even before his death, there was a buzz about when that first extended preview came out, which I think was before his death.
Right before, like a month before his death, a month before.
Yeah, I think there was a big buzz about the movie. But yeah, I mean, his death obviously contributed to the success.
Yeah, but I agree with Dean 100%. I mean, Man of Steel was a dud, and that's why you have them all of a sudden, instead of being a Man of Steel 2, we have Batman versus Superman.
Well, I mean, you could apply the same thing, like, well, Godzilla didn't do all that great, so let's bring in King Kong and maybe that'll do something.
Well, here's the thing. Godzilla did great, and King Kong did. Remember, King Kong did not do well. King Kong was not in comparison to cost. I mean, it cost, what was it, $300 million, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
And it did not make worldwide. I think it made maybe a little bit more than that, but it was not a big hit. And as time has not been kind to that film. Is really not. When people respect the Dino De Laurentiis version more than that one, you have issues. Not that Dino De Laurentiis, even I have a soft spot in my heart for that one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks that the Dino De Laurentiis version was better.
I don't know. I talked to someone this week who actually has fond memories of it. There are a lot of people. If you go on,
our friend Aaron,
I actually do think it was better.
Our friend Adam Long is a huge fan of the 76.
Yeah, I mean,
version. So, but
look,
I mean,
none of them are as good as the 33. None of them are even in the same league as the 33 version. But
well, yeah, but no one will watch that version anymore.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true, actually.
I mean,
they will.
I'm joking. I'm being facetious.
I know you.
They should watch it, but a lot of people will go, it's black and white.
I know that argument. Yes.
It's so
I mean, the main problem for me with Peter Jackson's King Kong was that it just didn't move. It was too long. It took an hour.
It's a 3-hour thing.
To happen. Right.
It's a 3-hour thing. That's it. It was like all of the goofy stuff leading up to Skull Island was the biggest waste of time. You could have done this in 5 minutes.
He didn't. But that's just something about also The Hobbit being a very short book. Well, we'll make 3 movies. I would just be like, are you serious? 3-hour movie?
Well, other stuff at Comic-Con, Christopher Nolan was there with Matthew McConaughey, and he...
Hey.
All right.
They did a presentation on Interstellar, and they premiered some scenes from it, or a new trailer or something, and they gave more of the plot away. But I mean, Christopher Nolan's looking to awe you, bring a 70 millimeter big screen science fiction epic like 2001 to awe you with the space of the visuals kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else happened of note there? What other movies? Star Wars. Marvel announced they're making 3 Star Wars movies. Marvel, and then but in terms of the new Star Wars now shooting, not much was revealed. I don't think they didn't have a presentation.
No, they didn't. They figured they could skip this year. They could skip Comic-Con from what I hear. But they, plot points. Well, right before we went on the air last week. A skeleton plot was released of episode 7. Yeah. And I mean, in one sense, I think it's very refreshing because it really does discard everything that you were thinking from the books and the comics and everything that they discarded, But at the same time, they're like, is this really cinematic enough to really, justify? And I'm hoping that the person who posted this, there's a lot of, he says it's absolutely true. Devin Faraci from Badass Digest, and I think it was confirmed by some other people, but it sounds really flimsy. I don't know it sounds so, kind of hate to say this, childish, but I don't know what other words to use for it.
Yeah, the only part of the plot that I was excited about was the fact that all the old cast members. These aren't Leonard Nimoy and Star Trek cameos. These are lead parts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these older actors from the original series have major roles in the new movie, which
I think that helps.
I think J.J. Abrams is being, like we've said before, I think he's being smart, and pretty much everything I've heard is like right on target with what I think a return to form should be for that franchise. So we'll just wait and see.
Yeah, I don't look. I think it will be. Let's put it like this. I think it would actually be better under someone else directing than Lucas, obviously, because he just didn't seem to evolve as a director in the time. I mean, he's very rusty, and even 3 movies into it, he's still very rusty. He's not storytelling. While he's great with ideas, storytelling is not one of his strong points. I think that's a fair assessment to make after watching the prequel trilogy.
Who absolutely did not believe in Star Wars?
Brian De Palma.
Yeah, exactly. I've been rereading like over and over again. It's like I just turn to a page in Easy Rider's Raging Bulls and I start to read, and I always turn to the same damn page. It's like I try my best to turn to a different page, but when you just crack open a book, for some reason it's always the same page. But and it's always that section about Brian De Palma just blasted George Lucas. This is stupid. Are you even thinking of the audience when you do this movie? Nobody knows what the hell is going on. I mean, it seems comical at this time, but if you put yourself back there to that place and time in movie culture, I mean, Star Wars must have sounded like just a ridiculously silly idea that would never
work.
Well,
it did. I mean, remember seeing the preview for the first. I remember seeing the preview for the first time as a kid, and as a kid, I remember thinking, not, oh my God, that looks incredibly great. I thought that looks incredibly silly and dumb.
Yeah.
But wasn't it the
as a kid, I thought it kind of looked dumb, but I mean, it was something about. It reminded me of like the preview. Like later on, I had the same kind of experience watching the preview for RoboCop. I remember thinking when RoboCop had its first preview in the mid-'80s, I was like, that looks like the stupidest movie ever. And of course, I saw it and I loved it. I mean, but it was just it was something that we just weren't ready for. You know?
Excuse me, though,
nobody
Jamie,
was really ready for it.
Excuse me, Jamie. In regards to De Palma, though, if I'm not mistaken, he was the one who suggested that Luke. He wrote the crawl, the opening crawl for the movie. So he needed something to explain, and I think that's regardless, De Palma, he's not always the best as a character, but for him that was just a stroke of genius on his part, because you just need to set this up. You can't have people going into this cold. I mean, and I thought that was a very awesome idea on his part to do that.
Yeah. Well, the one that believed in it wholeheartedly was Spielberg, and
also
he was
Scorsese.
the only one. But I mean, but I mean, Scorsese didn't know that the movie would gross a lot of money. Spielberg was the one that actually calmed down 20th Century Fox and said, "Don't worry, this movie's going to make a ton of money. Like it's going to be bigger than Close Encounters. You're going to be fine." So
that's right.
And the only one that didn't get any points out of Star Wars was Francis Coppola, which is not right. I mean, because all these other director pals of Lucas got points in it, just by virtue of being pals, I guess. But Coppola started Lucas. I mean, Coppola was instrumental in Lucas's start in the business, and so he always felt like he was left out. Yeah,
you got to. It's been 16 or 17 years since I read the book, but isn't in the book where Coppola says he was going to parties and he stopped inviting me or something along those lines. He stopped going with him to parties and meeting important people.
Of course, this was also around the time of Apocalypse Now and that kind of thing, where they were prepping it, and went from Lucas's hands to Coppola's hands, and as though I don't know what other power plays were going on then, but but they worked together again, Lucas and Coppola, and they've remained.
Yeah, they're friends, but he did say, Coppola did say in that book, though, during that time, though, when Lucas was on the rise because of Star Wars, that he saw less and less of him. But they all, I mean, that, you know, Lucas's divorce humbled him massively. I mean, she cleared him out. You know, that all. No, I'm not being facetious. I mean, that really, you know, that was at that time a really big deal. I don't know, it probably is minuscule compared to the ex-Mrs. Mel Gibson's what she got from Mel, but
yeah, but also, I mean, Marsha Lucas thought that it was a completely silly idea, and she thought we're going to be so embarrassed. I mean, all of our friends are making these serious, thought-provoking movies, and here we are with Star Wars. She thought it would be a complete debacle. So I'm sure she changed her tune like everyone else when it became the biggest movie ever.